What does it take for the police to act on crime? Why did Colonel Dlamini deny that there were criminal activities in Mogale City? Does South African Police Service expect support from communities when they don't act on their tip-offs? And why did SABC destroy buildings in Mogale City yesterday? What time is it? It's question time. Khodzong, Gurula, Mraro, and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. Last week, Question Time discussed the shutdown in Mogale City. In a fit of rage, residents clashed with the police, burned down a few buildings and looted some businesses. They said they were waging a war against drug trafficking and prostitution in the Krugersdorp Central Business District. Police Minister Fikile Mbalula visited the area last week and engaged with the community members. He was there again yesterday to update residents on what has happened since the shutdown. A building alleged to be a brothel was demolished. But do the police have any feedback they can share with the viewers of Question Time today? We are live and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210. If you're outside the borders, +27891104210, and our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. And a reminder that you can also live stream us on our Facebook page, SABC News Online, and our YouTube channel, YouTube.com/SABC Digital News. Now my guest today, Pastor Joe Mabuela, is a community leader in Mogale City, and Lieutenant Colonel Lungelo Dlamini, who's the spokesperson of the police in Gauteng. But before we get into the show, let's take a look at what the Minister of Police had to say about criminals who continue to pursue criminal activities in the Mogale City municipality.
Close them down. And I'm saying to our people and to everybody else, that is not going to start tomorrow. It's going to start as we live here today. Operation Fiela in full swing throughout the country, throughout our provinces.
Well, that was Minister of Police not necessarily speaking in Mogale City, but he was addressing a police gathering. Well, let me welcome both of you gentlemen. And Colonel Dlamini, thank you very much for being truthful to your word. We requested that can you come into studio, and indeed you have. What is the difference between, or rather what had changed between last week when we spoke to you and yesterday?
Firstly, I just want to correct the statement that you started with, that I denied that there is crime in Mogale City. That statement is not true. There is crime at Mogale City like in any other areas, but the function of the police is to prevent crime, investigate crime. So all what is happening in Mogale, it was part of the criminal activities that were taking there. That's why the police are there to prevent crime.
No, but Colonel, let's get the basics right. You are not going to deny that you vehemently denied that there were criminal activities in Mogale City last week.
That's not true. I disagree with that. I never denied that there's any crime in all the areas. So that's why the police are there to prevent crime. It means people will be engaged in crime.
But when I asked you last week why you were not acting, you said there were no dockets.
Maybe you did not listen properly. You did not hear me. Maybe there was a problem of communication between me and yourself.
So are you denying that? You said you can only act on the basis of reports that have been laid with your stations.
But I think why you are saying that, because you asked me if those allegations that were made by the community were true or not, saying that the police in the area are corrupt. It's what I was answering, but I never answered about that there is no crime in Mogale City. That statement is not true.
But even that is also not true, because then if you are saying that you were responding to that particular aspect of the question in the manner that you did, then that's not what your minister was saying. The minister yesterday said it very clear. Hubodile, it's rotten. They even changed police management. Why were police management changed?
No, they changed police management in order to bring the new environment into the areas, because they were...
What was wrong with the previous environment?
There were allegations by the community that...
Yeah, but when I spoke to you last week, you said you don't act on the basis of allegations.
Yeah, I think if you can allow me maybe to speak and answer you instead of interjecting, because now if you interject, I'm not going to say what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
Please allow me to speak and then answer your questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said, just repeat that question again.
Yeah, you see, it is important that we need to get our facts right, Colonel. Because you are not going to come here and deny that you were denying things last week. I'm saying to you, your minister yesterday says, Hubodile, right? But when in your terms, Hawabola.
He was reacting on the community complaints because the community, they were complaining about the Nigerians in the area. They were complaining about the foreign nationals that are trafficking in drugs. That's why those buildings, which we suspect that they were occupied by the foreign nationals, were destroyed yesterday. And
so you only act when the minister comes?
No, we're not going to. We're not acting when the minister comes. They were. You
were refusing to act last week.
I don't agree with you. I don't know what you are talking about here.
Let me welcome you to the show. We appreciate the fact that the police have finally come to their senses to act on what the community has been complaining about. What's your feeling as community leaders?
Look, the police did not come to their senses voluntarily. It is the community that made them come to their senses. The police refused from May last year, when we submitted a petition and a memorandum and said there's drug trafficking. There are women that are being brought into our area, kidnapped wherever, abducted wherever, drugged, made to depend into drugs and turned into prostitutes. A match was made. There were 3 matches made. The police reluctantly, they refused, simply refused to investigate the matter. There are a lot of corrupt activity happening within the police rank in Mogale City. Case in point, you and I know, last year, 3 cops were arrested regarding corruption at the airport there from Krugersdorp itself. What has happened to that case? Even today, we don't know. No one is telling us anything, So, in terms of this whole criminal activity and so on that is taking place, especially within that area called Saverite, where there's a whole lot of drug things and so on happening. Complaints have been brought to the police.
No, hold it there.
You see.
Hold it there.
Yes, I will.
The police representative is here.
Yes.
What did you do with the complaints that were raised by communities that we have a problem of drugs in this particular area? 3 matches were held.
I said I didn't deny that there were any complaints, but what I said is that I'm not aware of the complaints that were made, because
but do you have to be aware as Colonel Lungelo Dlamini in order for action to be taken against criminals?
When corruption is reported, we register cases. Those cases are registered for investigation. I'm not aware of those cases.
Okay, so who registered a case which led to the demolition of the house yesterday?
No, that was the operation that was conducted by the police and Mogale City.
It's got nothing to do.
I need to come in here. I need to come in. The building that was demolished yesterday was not demolished by the police. The police found a demolished building. And it is the community that demolished that building because the police refused. Had the police agreed to accompany the people in the morning instead of late in the afternoon after everything was done. So the police only came when the buildings were burnt down. And the minister said, before the demolition, said, those buildings are now inhabitable and useless. They are no longer safe for people. Just demolish them. It is not the police, it is not the minister, it is the community. The police must not take credit for what they failed to do. It is the community that demolished that building. You can ask that the Lungelo. When they went there, you can see the pictures. When they went there, they found buildings that are destroyed. So the police cannot say they destroyed those buildings.
Well, here is a pastor who is saying they took the law into their hands because SABC failed them.
Which building was destroyed by the police that was already not destroyed? There are buildings now that are standing there. People have pointed, that building, it's a brothel. That building, houses, whatever. The police are not touching those buildings.
What does it take for you to act on crime?
It's a lot of things. We have got crime prevention operations.
Yes.
We are investigating crimes that has been reported. And also, we are listening to all the complaints that are made by the community. We act on those.
On that one, you're not telling the truth.
On those complaints that are reported regarding crime.
On that one, you're not telling the truth.
How do you mean I'm not telling?
They have been complaining. You didn't listen.
Yeah, probably.
And I can also tell you,
Yeah.
you speak on behalf of Gauteng. There are people who are complaining about Terfontein, a similar situation. What have you done?
Yeah, probably Tate Lungelo Dlamini is not aware of these things. Probably they don't bring it to their attention. But
just hold it then, Tate Mrut. Let's go to our lines.
Okay.
Is it Franz?
Yeah.
Franz?
Hi, how are you, Mr. Tedu?
I'm well, Tate. Thanks for the call.
Colonel, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you, Pastor.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes. Mr. Tedu, I just wanted to intervene on this matter. Last week, I was listening to one of the radio stations.
Yes.
Yeah, I can call by name anyway because I'm not going to hide anything. It's Power FM.
Yeah.
Joanne Joseph. She interviewed Colonel.
Yes.
And I remember Colonel, she never mentioned that there's no crime in that area. There is crime in that area. You understand? And you must understand because these people that are coming from Kagiso, then township, they walk on that main road. When they arrive in Krugersdorp, they're doing crime. I was passing there at McDonald's. They went in there, they took things away. You understand? That's crime. You understand? You don't have to blame police that, well, there's no crime. And then secondly, Colonel, I've got a big problem. The problem that I have is I've reported the matter at the 10111 in Midrand. They gave me the reference number. They said they would call me. There is one guy who's doing money laundering around in Soweto. These pensioners is holding the pensioners card money, you understand? Each and every time I report it through, and it looks like that guy is eating with the police from Naledi SAPS. Even the calls from Naledi, they went to this guy, they took money from him. Please, man, Colonel, I need you to give me my number because I've reported this several times, you understand?
Okay.
So there's no action taken then against.
Okay.
I wanted you, the producer, to give me my number. I need to liaise with you, please.
I'm actually asking them as we speak to indeed take your number so that we can pass them through to Colonel Dlamini. Let's hope that they will be able to act, unlike in other instances where they are not acting. Colonel Dlamini, do you understand that communities are frustrated by inaction on the part of the police when they report crimes of this nature, more especially, as the caller has just alluded, where there are instances of police taking or colluding with criminal elements?
Yeah, I understand what you are saying, but in case of this case, there is a reference number We'll be following up on that reference number and see why was that matter not being investigated.
Okay. Now, my question to you, is why should it take a community like the community of Mogale City for them to do what they did, which is illegal, in order for the police to act? Why can't you act on the basis of one phone call?
Well, we'll look at that matter, especially those station commanders that were changed there. We don't know why they didn't act. But
maybe that's the reason why they were changed.
As the minister has changed them to bring new environment, we'll be looking at that to see why were not they were not acting until the community took the law into their own hands.
La Samullo. Ayate. That is Lamin.
I say.
Let me go straight to the point.
Yes, Lhasa.
I had a trust on our SABC members. And until then, I reported the matter at Captain Park, Long Street, whereby the Nyaupe and drugs has been sold like Magunya on the street.
Yes.
I've been calling Captain Park police station, I've been emailing to National, nothing has been done. What Mr. Lugal Damin is telling the South African or the viewers, he's just a liar. I'm sorry to say that, but I just want to go straight to the point. Baba, we don't have a SABC members anymore. They only wanna reach themselves. They only go when their pocket to be full. We don't get any service from them. I'm calling them from now, right from Sebediela. I've been calling them, saying to them, this man selling Nyaupe, nothing has been happening. The community protested, 35 members has been arrested. For what?
No, that they do very well. They send pops just like that.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. We must go straight to the point. I respect what Mr. Father said. Understand? Baba, I mean, you have to apologize to 1 million or 5 million, the one watching this show now. You have to apologize to them because you have been taking lies to them.
Lhasa.
Hello.
I will hold.
Thanks for the caller. Let me say two things. Number one, you said, the people went on an illegal march. There was nothing illegal about that march, and I will explain to you just now. But secondly, I need to also point out that one of the challenges that we have is the gap between the senior officers and the officers on the ground. While the senior officers, the problem is they're not aware of what the officers on the ground do. These guys take bribes. These guys, they ask for bribes. When we marched to Mogale City, to the CPD,
yes,
we were having people that were saying, I want to point the police that I gave a bribe to or who are supplying me with Nyaupe. The police deliberately stopped us. They refused us to go any further. Instead, they were shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the forefront negotiating with some of the police that came, and then they started firing. I mean, the rubber bullet missed my eye by inch. My glasses broke. But then the thing is, when we marched to a town, and they refused us to march, they said the march was illegal. We said to them, there's a difference between. They said the march permission was not granted. We said it was not granted because we did not apply for it. There's a difference.
Yeah, but drug lords are not asking for permission before they sell drugs.
Here's the irony. The next day, our Nigerian brothers gathered together, so-called illegally. The police peacefully escorted their march, no permission granted, nothing. But instead, our own police that are supposed to secure us and make us safe, they were shooting at us.
That can't be right.
They arrested 59 of our people.
Well, Mbalula said you'll release them.
No, they're released.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can't be right, Colonel.
Yeah. I mean, these are facts.
Yes, no, I do understand what he's saying now.
But I want to give you an opportunity. I want to give Colonel an opportunity because I don't want you to leave here saying, I went to question time, I was just ambushed and all that. I want to give you an opportunity to make well of what transpired and what is going to happen going forward. But let's take Romano first, who is in Eden Park, quickly. Romano?
Good afternoon.
afternoon, Paul. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Paul, I think that Colonel Dlamini, I fully want to agree with you that Colonel Dlamini is a liar. He was here in Eden Park accepting our memorandum whilst Mzwanele Petros was still the provincial commissioner. And how many years is he gone?
Yeah.
Since Colonel Dlamini took our memorandum, we've never received any feedback from him up until today. So I fully agree what you're saying, that he's a liar and he's dishonest and he's been paid by the taxpayers and he's trying to portray you as a liar whereby he's a liar. I thank you, Paul.
Thanks very much, Roman. Well, hence I said, I want to give you an opportunity. We understand that all these things that we've identified are wrong. How do we go forward?
So as the minister was there in the area, the management of the stations were changed. The management of the cluster, they were also changed. So we are looking at the new environment, and we are looking at the environment where these officers who have been placed into those stations will take all the complaints from the community, and then they will work with the community as well as the city of Mogale.
Okay. Muruti, are you confident about the future?
Look, I'm confident about the future because the people of Mogale City, number one, have created their own structure, which is called the Stakeholders Forum. So we have created our own Stakeholders Forum. This Stakeholders Forum is made up of members of the community, members of the council, members of SABC, and some organs of the state, the Department of Home Affairs, Immigration. It is also made up of infrastructure development. So we've created that forum, and it's headed by the MM and the mayor. And we are saying through that structure, we are confident. Yes, we see what the police are doing, but how can we trust them with our lives going forward?
Hold it there. Very, very quickly, Glenn, you are in Naledi, very briefly. Ayat.
Sure.
It's very sad because subs is being captured. All the subs in Soweto, our police, they belong to drug lords, they are in their payroll and they are doing nothing. Even if you go and report, you can go to Naledi station and see what Nyaupe is doing to our youngsters.
Yeah.
It's very sad for our nation, and for Ntatelungelo to come there and being denial and not being fair, answering those questions you're asking him, it's very sad for our nation.
Dr. Glenn, thanks very much. Well, let's end on a positive note.
Right.
I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. Look, we have confidence in the people of Kagiso, of Manziville, of Magaliesberg, of Mogale City. We showed that when we are united, we can solve our own problems.
Yes.
We do not need to rely on any other people to solve our problems. It is our children that are being prosecuted. It was our child that was abducted the other day. It's our kids that are being fed with the drugs, And so for us to be waiting on some people sitting there in high towers and in powerful offices there to say, we'll come back to you, for us will not work. So we have created our forum. We appreciate what the minister has done, what the police are doing, but they will work alongside us if they want to. But the people of Mogale City are resolute in their decision. We are going to get rid of drugs. We are going to get rid of all the illegal prostitution taking place there. We are going to bring down any other brothel or any other building that is used for illicit purposes. It is the word of the people of Mogale City.
Okay, so says the pastor.
I just want to say that if the community have got problems with the local police, I think there are structures that they must go through to report them. There is a provincial office, there is an office of the MEC for community safety. They can go up to the national commissioner, up to the minister of police, if the local police officers are not doing their work.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. Let me thank you, gentlemen, for making time. Well, that was question time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the entire crew, have yourself a wonderful time. I'm a hot.